Call to order the Ada Township Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. First item on the agenda is roll call. Secretary, please do roll.
Corte? DeMarco?
Present.
Alex and Andrews? Absent. McNamara?
Here.
Nuttall?
Here.
Thank you. Next up is approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Motion to approve the agenda by Nuttall, supported by DeMarco. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Agenda is approved. Next item is approval of the minutes from the December 2nd, 2025 regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
Motion to approve the minutes from December 2nd by DeMarco and supported by Nuttall. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Minutes approved. We have no unfinished business, so we'll move right into our new business. We have a request for variances of lot area and width in the VR zoning district located at 7163 Bronson Street. Applicant Jeffrey Baker and property owner Baker 7163 Realty LLC. Could the applicant or representative of the applicant please come forward to the podium, state your name and address?
Jeff Baker. You want it on the recording?
Yeah.
Not a big group.
Jeff Baker, my address is 5729 Manchester Hills Drive, Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So my request is, I own 7163 and 7169 Bronson. And my request is to move 12 feet from 7169 to 7163, the corner lot. The reason for the request is the current lot at 7163 is a corner lot. It also has a fairly decent slope to the lot, and it also has different setbacks. The setback off of Bronson is, from the right-of-way, 65 feet. Off of Teeple, there's only 50 feet. So the problem, the difficulty that this presents is the ability to place a house on the lot that has a aesthetic appeal because gets far too close to the road, especially to Teeple, which, if you'd like, I can show you on the map how it looks. But that's the reason for the request is because it's difficult to place a house on the lot because of the proximity, because of the corner, the slope, and how close it is to Teeple. As far as the rest of the neighborhood, there's currently, which I'll show you, if you go down Bronson. So here's the corner lot that I want to do. This is the one I want to take the 12 feet so we can get a better aesthetic positioning. There's, this would end up being 82 feet. So 2 lots away is 82, this one's 82, this is 85, this one's 95. This one, which I think they just tore the house down recently, is 80. So, and then this lot ends up being 50. The one next to it's 50. So as far as the proximity of the neighborhood, you'd end up with 82, 50, 50, 82, 82, 50. I mean, there's certainly a bit of a reasonable fit within the neighborhood. It's not like it's a big change to the neighborhood. And the lot is, because it's on the corner, it's unique. So for those reasons, that's why I'm asking for for the variance, the ability to present something that's aesthetically better by getting it further from T-pole.
Thank you. Next up is staff report.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, Mr. Baker indicated some existing lots as well as his own request. A couple of comments that we can make. Basically, this request takes 12 feet, would propose to take 12 feet from the one lot and move it to the other lot. Both lots as they are currently comply with lot width requirements. There's no lack of compliance there or anything else. The proposal would result in a lack of compliance with one lot, which is the reason that he's here. The other lot would be reduced to the minimum width allowed, 50 feet, by this request. So that transference of that 12 feet would take that. Mr. Baker pointed out a couple of things. He pointed out existing lots in the area, some of which have different lot widths and everything else. I would stress that those are all pre-existing conditions. They've been present in most cases for a very long time. We are now in a situation where we are trying to establish compliance with the VR ordinance, which specifies, a maximum lot width of 70 feet. That is a policy matter that has been discussed at length by not only the Planning Commission, but also by the Township Board, and it is a policy that was enacted within the last couple of years in an effort to try to reduce the size and scale of the homes in this VR area, which is kind of this large 2-block area. So it was a very conscious decision, a very extensively thought out decision by the Planning Commission and the Township Board. So the lots that were pointed out again would have existed essentially for the most part prior to that change being made. Now, what this request does is results in a proposal that takes things further away from township policy and to basically increase in nonconformity is what this request represents. The comment regarding the corner lot is also, staff would question that to the extent that a typical side lot requirement, not a typical, but the side lot requirement in the VR district is 7 feet. You're required to have a 7-foot side yard setback. On a corner lot, you're required to have a 10-foot setback. It's only a difference of 3 feet. This lot already has a 70-foot width. The other lot has a 62-foot width. So this lot is already 8 feet wider than the existing lot, the existing interior lot that is being asked, where he's asking to take more from that. So we believe that for those reasons, and as we review the standards, and especially the problem of moving away from township policy and township rules, this is a request that should not be approved. A related concern is that with the reduced 50-foot width, somebody may purchase that property down the road, and then somebody else may purchase it from somebody else if it's never developed on. And I've been around long enough to know and to see that somebody, a sale or two down the road inherits an issue and says, I didn't know anything about this, I want to put up a home, but now all I have is a 50-foot width. So it's almost like a hardship is being created, but it's a self-imposed hardship based on the division as being proposed with this lot. So for those reasons, we believe that the request does not meet the standards, and that based on the findings of fact that the request does not meet the applicable standards, that this matter should not be approved. Brent, do you have anything to add? Yes, I actually as well, when it comes time for public comment, there are 3 comments I'd like to read into the record. A previous variance also was requested, but it was actually very small in nature, and it did not involve, for these properties, did not involve lot width. Lot width is kind of emerging as a big issue as it relates to township policy. on the scale of development in the VR district. So just wanted to point that out too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll open it up to public hearing. If someone from the public wants to make a comment about the applicant, state your name and address.
Hi, my name is Joel Harner. I am speaking, I guess, for 7205, 7191, 7247, 7179, 7175, Bronson. So basically everything from his lot down to the bike shop, with the exception of Margaret's house at 7209, since she's out of the country. But from my perspective, obviously I've built on those 80-foot lots that we put new homes on. We're doing that now. As a neighbor on the street, and speaking, like I said, for my other clients and or properties I own, I don't have a personal issue or see a problem because it's kind of consistent with the 80-50, like Jeff said. I don't know, from a personal standpoint, I don't think there's any hardships on a 50-foot lot, because I used to live on a 50-foot lot at 7187. So it's just size of home and how you're going to structure your drive and your garage. And I have a lot to build on a 50-foot lot right next to their property for a client. So I would think it would be a great thing to see that approved, so they could continue building. And because I know I've been to enough planning commission meetings where everyone would criticize the home on Thornapple River Drive that Zach Shaft has, because they said it was set too close to the sidewalks. And Jeff's wanting to try to bring it off of people, which I think is a good thing, which tends to, I think, make the general public happy, because there were so many people up here that spoke against Zach's house. And again, he chose to put it that way. He was in the zoning guidelines, so I personally don't see a problem with it, but many people did. And when a gentleman's asking to set it further back off the street, that's a good thing. And I don't think it's going to be a detriment to the streetscape if he was approved 80 and 50, is my opinion, and I guess the opinion of the street. So, thank you.
Clarification, I heard Joel say the opinion of the street.
Oh, my street, I mean, everyone that we live on that street, they seem to be, I've talked to, or I own the property, so that's what I'm saying is.
Yeah, actually, from the perspective of appropriate procedure and process, any witness, anybody coming, really can only speak for themselves unless they have written documentation for others. So I just want to clarify that that individual, as well as any other, can really only speak for themselves. They can't represent that they speak for everybody or others or everybody on the street.
Like, speak for the properties they own, so.
Right.
That's cool, brother. Out of that. Really two left.
Yeah, 1 minute. Any other public comment?
Okay. All right, then I'll enter these into the record. We have emails from 3 individuals. The resident at 7148 Thornapple River Drive, Marilyn Thompson, does not support this request. She indicates this is clearly not a matter of corner property and its required setbacks. There was a home on this property that was built in 1910 that was situated on this lot. Clearly this is a matter of the proposed home being too large for the lot. So my concern is that the lot, which would remain at 50 feet, if a home is built on the remaining lot in the future, visually it would not look right with large homes on either side. I would not be in favor of any additional variances for this location. Second note is from Justin Andrews, your fellow zoning board of appeals member, regarding the applicant. It seems like this is moving away from promoting the housing that we would like to have in the village, the higher density area. Maybe the lot would be more conducive to multifamily, where property characteristics such as a sidewalk would add value to the development, increase housing supply, and maintain desires of the neighborhood in the master plan. Not sure if that falls out of scope with the ZBA, but generally, he does not support this request. But he wanted to offer that as a potential alternative to approving the request. And he's in support of staff's perspective. Final note is from Tom Korth, who is our township supervisor. He says that he is completely against the request to widen this lot and break the zoning, is the phrase he uses. If we allow the normal setbacks with the wider lot, it would further allow a very large house in the village area, and this is not the intent of the zoning. He's getting continuous complaints about the tear downs and mega size of replacement houses. He offers that if the ZBA were approving it, he's saying the additional width would remain as part of the setbacks, but that would kind of take away based on what we're talking about here. He is an adjacent property owner to the site, and he received the ZBA notice for that reason. So he opposes this as well. He says, we need the folks to look at this situation and ensure a means to keep the scale of the houses in the village area more in keeping with the overall intent of our master plan and zoning. And then he talks about lot coverage and et cetera. But again, he's against this request, so I wanted to enter those three written pieces of commentary into the record. Thank you.
I will close public comment and allow for the applicant to come back to the podium and have an opportunity to make any comment.
Well, the only thing I would say is that, you know, the nearest two 80-foot lots to this one were approved in the last couple of years by this board. And the resulting was the 80 and the 50, right? So it's kind of a pattern that's developed, and none of those were on a corner. The corner creates some difficulty to create something that's aesthetically pleasing. It's not about trying to build a bigger house. That's not the idea for us. It's about how do you make it look better because you're so close to the road there on Teeple. It would be wonderful if there was a sidewalk on Teeple, because then it would be set back further, but there isn't a sidewalk on Teeple, and Teeple's a really narrow road, so it creates the problem that we're running into. I mean, we tried to start the project, and it's like, I hired a new architect to say, hey, can you figure out how to make this look better? And he came up with the same conclusion. It's like, this is really hard to place a aesthetically pleasing house on this lot, so that matches into the neighborhood that we're going into. So, just as more information.
I'm his wife too, and so.
Oh, is this part of the comment period?
Well, I had closed it, but
You can reopen it? I'm not saying you can't talk, I just want to make sure we're observing procedure, so that's why I'm deferring to the chair on that.
Yeah.
I just figured since we're both. on
no,
the
I
property-
understand. That's fine. You can come to the podium.
The only thing I want to say is that when I bought the property 5 years ago or whatever, these rules weren't in place. So I had bought both these properties before the rules became into place. So I want you to consider that too, because I'm not going to build any smaller or bigger house than what I want to build anyways. I'm just saying that it being so close to the road, I'm in design, so I understand. And that's what bothered me the most, because no matter what, if I'm gonna build, I mean, I paid a lot of money for my lots. You're not gonna build a small little house on that property. So that's all I just have to say.
What's your name?
Cheryl.
Cheryl Baker,
Yep.
right?
So, if I might provide some clarifications, Mr. Chair.
Yep.
So, we understand the issue identified as regards to lot cost and the purchase of it being several years ago. However, this change is being requested now. This is not a change that requested years ago. This change came in 2023, so it's been around for a few years now, and has been present. Previous requests that have been considered, I think Joel had a few, actually brought lots closer to compliance with the requirements. As I said earlier, this is totally different because it's moving further away from compliance with our zoning ordinance requirements. Township Board has set a policy, Planning Commission has supported the policy of a maximum 70-foot lot width. Previous rules did not have a maximum lot width. That's why you saw some of those 80-foot examples. The goal here is to try to move closer to township policy. We also, we heard this now a couple of times about a corner lot. Again, I have to stress that this lot is already 8 feet wider than the interior lot, but an additional 12 feet is being requested for it, even though you only need 3 foot additional for a corner side yard setback. Finally, Brent had reminded me, for this subject property, we actually already have a building permit application here. It has been placed on hold pending outcome of this, but there is a permit with plans that have been submitted for this lot. So, there obviously is an active opportunity, if you will, and proposal to construct on this lot with its current configuration, with its current dimensions. Brent, anything else to add? Thank you.
I will open it up to board discussion and questions.
I have a question. Director said, if I'm understanding this, your perspective is, your objectives are to maintain consistency throughout the block. And you did bring up a good point that I was wondering is when the lot was purchased, if you were aware of the ordinance, like what the timing was on each and when plans started being developed and all that.
As far as the lot purchase, if the lot purchase happened 5 years ago, that predates this requirement on the maximum lot width.
Or when we're,
However-
okay, so we know the age of the ordinance and its compliances, and then when did the planning for the home begin?
When did the planning?
The design structure for the home, right?
They have a plan that's submitted now, for a permit, that adheres to all current setbacks, the current lot size, and everything else.
And as John did previously mention, there was a previous variance, a very minor variance request for 4 feet that was granted by the ZBA last August, I believe.
Right, and that was for lot area.
That was just for lot area, that did not include
Lot width.
lot width. The lot width requirements are satisfied, were
Okay.
satisfied.
So, yeah, I mean, aesthetically pleasing is a subjective term, so I guess I don't see the rationale based on that.
Well, it's not, it's about, I've heard so many people complain.
No, the board is talking.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were asking.
So we're talking about, just remind me the setback rules? It's,
The side yard setbacks for interior side yards are 7 feet.
7 feet?
The corner side, when you're adjacent to a street on the corner, if you're on a corner lot,
It
it's
goes-
10 feet.
It's 10, okay, so
it's a 3-foot difference.
So we got a 3-foot difference there. I'm just looking at the lot lines. I don't know how accurate this is, but this is what it shows on Zillow. It looks like they're the same size here, but is that just an optical illusion? What exactly is the current lot width for each?
Current lot width, the lot is.
See, one of them is 62.
Right, the smaller one is 62, the larger one is 70. The larger one is on the corner, that's the one they want to expand by another 12 feet to make that 82 feet wide.
So we're bringing
And
that to,
take the 12 feet from the 62-foot width, that reduces that one down to 50.
brings it down to 50.
Right. As you know, though, this is not a request for setback variances.
Yeah,
It's a
I
request for
understand.
the lot width.
But obviously, the setback requirements factor into why they would want a variance.
He has made that argument. Staff has made the argument about the small discrepancy between 3 feet and 12 feet, between 7 feet and 10 feet, which obviously can even be accommodated based on the existing widths, because that lot is already, 8 feet wider than the interior lot.
From what, I'm just looking at a satellite picture here, but it looks like this lot is pretty flat, so there's no, like, topographical variances, or maybe there are. Is there something, is there a slope, or is there anything, any kind of,
The slope, Brent, correct me if I'm wrong, the slope's toward the back of the property.
it does slope towards the back?
It does, however, that does not impact width, because the width is oriented, if you will, toward Bronson, not based on Teeple. So as you go down Teeple, the lots go down. So that really is not a factor. It's not a factor with this argument.
So it doesn't affect the, it's not, there's no slope from left to right or across the width of the property, but it slopes towards the back. I'm just looking at some of the other properties on here, and some of these have got virtually no setback between the lot lines and the property. Maybe that is 7 feet, but it looks like less than 7 feet.
Sometimes.
Are those just because they're existing homes that were, I don't know how they didn't care about building right on the edge of the lot?
It might depend on when the home was constructed,
Mhm.
but also as we know, sometimes with aerial photos, there's distortion because of the angle of the aerial photo. You may not have a good exact measurement. We've seen that with the county parcel mapper, that sometimes you have some inaccuracies or distortion because of the angle of the aerial photo.
Okay. And then the lots directly behind them are the size of two of those. So the two lots, the lot that we're looking at here, the two that were in consideration, the one right directly behind it is double wide, basically. Is that, so are we attempting to reduce the size of those, or?
Well, that's a pre-existing lot, similar to the shaft lot on Thornapple River Drive.
Because there's another lot directly next to it. I don't know what address that is. That's also, it looks like it's a vacant lot, but it's double the size. So is that person allowed to build on that double wide lot?
They would be allowed to build on that lot. The issue here is that when somebody comes for approval or lot sizing or any of that kind of stuff, the goal is always to try to move closer to township rules and township policy, which is what we're dealing with
What
here.
we're trying to do now, yeah.
It's one of those things where, it's a slow evolution, right? It's a slow process of eventually bringing lots around and trying to establish conformance with the zoning ordinance. Closer to conformance with the zoning ordinance. It takes time to do that, but that's always the goal.
Okay, so really we've got a conflict between a goal of the zoning board or the township and the ability for one of our residents to build something that they feel will be appropriate for the property. I'm trying to get back to that lot view, but doesn't sound like there's really the number one factor where it's found that by reason of exceptional narrowness, shallowness, or shape of a specific parcel or property, or by reason of exceptional topographic conditions, or other extraordinary situation of the land, structure, or use of the property immediately adjoining the property in question. I don't think we can meet the requirements to pass a variance based on that, because there's no real exceptional narrowness. In fact, we're going to impose some fairly exceptional narrowness on the property, the second property involved here. Which I think potentially could lead to future requests for variances. It might not, but I guess we can't know for sure what that'll result in there. You got any thoughts, Jason?
I don't.
you?
As I said, I don't really see a good rationale for supporting the variance because, I mean, I don't see anything that's prohibitive for building the home, and if it slopes down the backside, that has nothing to do with widening the lot. So I'm sorry, I just don't see it.
How much extra home can you really build with an extra 12 feet? I mean, there's, the terms that have been used here are, it's gonna be this giant home. And perhaps that's sort of an irrational fear, because
Right.
how much more home, how much bigger can you actually make a home when you've got 12 feet versus,
Well, you're right, I mean,
because
I
you've
agree
still only
with
got
that.
3 extra feet, right? Isn't that what
You only need 3 extra feet for the setback.
for the setback?
Right, which again, they already have a wider lot. They already have a lot that's 8 feet wider.
That one's already 8 feet wider, yeah.
So and they have a permit that's been submitted for construction of home on this property. Without the extra width.
Are there plans already submitted for this?
Yep.
Could those plans be completely changed and something completely different built once this variance is passed, if it were to be passed?
They could do that if the variance would be passed, or even if it's not passed. We have people scrapping plans all the time. And
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't really know what they're gonna build there.
Right.
But if I'm hearing correctly, this is not about building a larger home, per se. This is about, you want it closer, or you want it further back from,
They just want it wider. They just
They
want it
want it
wider.
wider, and anything, and
So
they've
they're
talked
gonna-
about, in their application materials,
yeah, why?
they've talked about constructing a larger home, I believe. But, in reality, like you said, that's all very speculative. We don't know what that might look like, we don't know what that might be, what the dimensions would be, or anything of that nature. So that's why, the focus here has been on the dimensions, the actual lot width in question.
Okay.
And the fact that we already have a permit for a home based
Right.
on the way it is right now.
No, I don't.
Yeah. I don't really feel that we've got grounds as a ZBA to approve a variance, because we gotta meet these 3 standards, and I don't think we can meet the first one. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I guess that's where we're at.
I agree.
So based on the fact that we don't have conditions that meet the first, second, and third what do you call these, conditions or standards?
The standards.
I move that we deny the variance.
We have a motion to deny the variance by Nuttall,
I will support.
support by DeMarco. Can we get a roll call vote? A vote of aye is in favor of the denial.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Variance was denied. Next item on the agenda is a review of the upcoming meeting schedule.
Yes, we have the fiscal year 26-27 schedule for you, for your review and approval. And predicated on your approval, this would then be published as the meeting dates for the upcoming fiscal year. There are 3 dates to point out that would be slightly different than the first Tuesday of the month. One is April 14th. That adjustment is due to the typical spring break week. The second one is August 11th, being moved a week later. That has been moved, or that rescheduling, if you will, is proposed because I believe we have a primary election that first Tuesday in August,
Yes.
which I know Clerk DeMarco is
August 5th.
probably not anticipating with great enthusiasm, but
Oh,
it is
actually,
what
I
it
am.
is. Okay. And similarly, in November,
Right.
moving to the second Tuesday of November for the same reason, because that's the general election.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's midterm for congressional races. I believe there's the governor's race.
Governor,
and
State's
other-
Attorney General, Secretary of State,
And other races too, statewide. and
University
so forth.
regents.
Oh, regents for
Regents,
universities.
judges, State Board of Education, precinct delegates, House representatives, senators, all kinds of good
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, at the state level, the state
Yes.
legislatures as well. And you got that all out in one breath, so my
Yeah,
congrats.
thank you.
Thank you.
I've
So,
been doing
so
this a
with
long
that,
time.
we would offer this for your review and hopefully for your approval.
Thank you for moving those dates, because it just, it hurts me to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and I just can't, it's such a crazy build-up to the actual election day, and then election day itself is nuts. I mean, there's no way that, you know,
We do it every year.
but thank you.
Yeah, it helps avoid conflict
Yep.
and everything. And the corresponding deadline dates
Mm-hmm,
have been moved as well, just so you all know.
appreciated.
You know, for applicants to give that 5-week
Mm-hmm.
span. So with that, we're hoping that you would agree and recommend, or I guess you'd say outright approve this schedule for the next fiscal year beginning April 1.
Motion to approve the schedule.
That's your
Yes, I'll s-
motion.
Do you have support?
I will support, yes.
Right, motion to approve the schedule by Nuttall and supported by DeMarco. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Schedule passes.
Thank you.
Next up is correspondence.
May I provide a few staff notes?
Sure.
Just some housekeeping. First off, thank you for your commentary and careful review of this particular request. Staff understands it's not easy to do that, to stare people in the face and tell them no. It's not easy.
No, it's hard. I mean, well, we'd like to be able to accommodate,
We're trying to
if at all
accommodate.
possible.
Right. You know, and
But we also have rules and,
but the rules are, and the fact that we're trying to move in that direction of maintaining limits on some of these lots, that's where it gets to be challenging. So thank you, my compliments to you
Yeah.
all for carefully reviewing this.
it is tough because they probably didn't have those conditions imposed on them when they first bought those lots.
No,
They
true.
If they could have constructed before those zoning ordinances changed, they would have not had this problem.
Exactly. And, you know, ordinances change all the time and you
I don't-
just
but
catch. you catch
I'm
it where
assuming
you
that
catch it.
that's not a reason for us to give a variance either.
Right,
So-
true, that's true. That by itself is
That's
not a hardship. We had a gentleman come to us a year or two ago who said, you know, I talked with Jim Farrow about this and he told me everything would be okay and I could do blah, blah, blah with a lot size. When did you talk to him? I think it was about 10 or 12 years ago. I can't
Yeah.
do that. I don't hold me to that. So anyway, so those things happen. Some other things. The parking plan, we had originally had a meeting scheduled. We had to cancel that meeting. We're now looking at early to mid-March for presentation of the parking plan by our consultant. I will let you all know when that is scheduled, once it does get scheduled, because I think Julius has to send out a note to the elected
Yes.
officials. And then the DDA board has to be pulled because this was a project that was jointly funded by the DDA and the township. And I'm going to invite the planning commission and the zoning board for that. Last topic, zoning ordinance update is continuing along. We had a great meeting on December 18th, a joint meeting with the Township Board and the Planning Commission to talk about some of the general principles of the Zoning Board of Appeals, of the zoning ordinance update. And that's moving along nicely. We actually have a committee meeting at 6 p.m. To talk more about that, just our little steering committee group, and so we'll see how that goes. Final note, we don't have any agenda items for the March meeting. We were going to go ahead and cancel it. We do need to elect officers, but that can be done at the next meeting, even if that's April or May or whatever, if that sounds good to you all.
Okay.
Because that's an annual thing we typically do at the March meeting, the officers for the upcoming fiscal year, but it can wait. I think we did that last year where we did it in like April or May. Brent, Elaine, any housekeeping notes or other topics? Oh, Elaine's got a candy.
I didn't think I was gonna be talking. I will
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Next up is final public comment, but the hall is empty, so close public comment and ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Support.
To adjourn by Nunell, support by DeMarco. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
And my compliments are on your stewardship of the meeting tonight, and the challenging
Well, it's,
dynamics.
I feel for them because for them, they just see all these 80-foot lots that were